Yeah, you guys are way too funny. Oh, my dear ones, it's good to come to you. Yeah, it's been a rough 3 weeks, man. I'll tell you about it here, but I hope you're all doing well. I apologize for not doing any new videos. I did one yesterday with a medical doctor, Dr. Toomey, and sweet thing, very spiritual, holistic minded, hates pharmaceuticals, internal medicine doc, and so she's editing that, and then we'll get that up for you and show you that. And that was fun. She's into movement, and we were talking about the importance of movement, sounds, all of this in terms of moving lymph. And so it was fun. I think we did about 2 hours or something. It's like, wow, and it was fun. 50th year. This is my 50th year as a naturopath. Damn! 50 years. That's a long time. You know what? And in the earlier days, it was rough. Look at that. The day I gave Matt away. You know, and this is the author. Is that not cool? You guys are incredible. Writing these books, I mean to tell you. A lot of good recipes. I was looking through here and it's like, oh. Now I'm getting hungry. Some good stuff. We're going to be carrying all these books for you. You probably could get them from them directly, but we're going to try to help them out and carry them. You know, a lot of us eat pretty pure. You know, I'm not 100% pure, of course. I try to keep some balance in my world because as your body moves into another level of energy, and we were talking about that on the video with Doc about energetics and the importance of energy and the movement of energy and things like this. So I remember telling you guys the story of Bernard McFadden. Bernard McFadden, you know, he was an old faster, and I've had friends like him, old guys that just fasted all the time on water or whatever, mostly water really, but carrot juice back in the day and things like that. But I think McFadden was more water, wasn't he? But his story is interesting because he would break fasts on different things to see what it was like, I guess, so the story goes. I don't know if I even read a book of his, but his last water fast, he broke it on boiled potatoes, killed him, you know. And so when you take a look at that and boiled potatoes, you're talking about thick starch and all of that, and you have invoked lymphatic movement. You've invoked things to come to the surface that was hidden. And there's another thing we were talking about yesterday is about when people go on these programs, they tend to see some wrinkling and things like this in their bodies. And it's like the average person is very edemic. So when you start hydrating a person, you would think you'd see pop, pop, pop. No. Hydration means you start bringing anionic energy into a cationic environment. And then you start to see that breaks up a cationic environment. That is just using simple electrolytes or high electron foods. But when you get into the lymphatic system, that's when you start seeing the use of lipids in nature. So like mother's milk, when you see carbon as the number one, you know that's for the energy and the functionability of a cell. It already is a cell. It already knows genetically. It's already got its consciousness. What does it need to keep moving, right? What does it need to hook up to this world? And that is energy source. Whether it's the silver cord someone calls or whatever energy source. And our energy sources are all tied together, of course, with the plant kingdom and all these other kingdoms. So a lot of times when you start detoxing, you'll start to see on the outside what you look like on the inside. That's what a lot of people don't understand. I've always said, if you peel the skin off of the average human, and you'd probably throw up. I mean, when you really look, there's so much necrosis. A lot of people have a lot of worms. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in a human. A lot of times you don't know because everybody's living symbiotically with the kind of food sources you're eating. Can't get mad with that. So in 52 years ago, I'd just come out of the woods as a fruitarian. I'd got me rented a little apartment on the side of a house on the beach. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I had no idea. So I got the idea of having a health food store, and I asked my dad if he'd help me, and he said, yeah. So I opened up a little health food store, and that was a lot of fun at first. Of course, you want to grow. So I had a little health food store. It was only about 500 square foot, and I couldn't keep the people out of it. I was building it with cedar and all this kind of stuff and cypress. We could get thick. I had countertops, real thick cypress. We had an old cypress mill up in Bradenton at that time. It was just beautiful wood. Oh. And so this place opened up right by the post office, not too far from mine. I go, well, that traffic and everything else, and my little place is so crammed with people, and I can't even move around in here. Maybe I should rent it. What was it, 3 times, I think it was, or 4 times the rent? And then I didn't think the electric would be twice or 3 times, and So I ended up losing that one after about a year or so because it was just too expensive. I broke it up in 2 or 3 littler ones and ended up selling them, but business is rough, boy. If you can't turn the profit, you can't turn the lights on or pay anybody to help you. And that's what, when you go into business for yourself, you see these things coming, even if you don't know them, right? So I met this family, and they were going to Ohio for some kind of cool thing, and they said, you want to go with us? And I'm going, well, I don't have anything to do. Well, yeah. I didn't realize I'd been an alkaline eater for quite a while, right? All navel oranges mostly at that time. And so got up in the middle of Ohio in the middle of winter, and I mean, I'm going into major freeze, right? So we're all standing at this airport in the middle of the night, raining, snowy kind of, and I'm going, oh my God, I thought I left this in Indiana. And this little burger place, that's all I had. Nothing open. We were all starving. Of course, and cold just accentuates that, alkaline on top of alkaline, and you're looking for something acidic. Something warm, right? Well, here I hadn't been eating anything warm. So I thought the fish was the only thing on there. Only thing that possibly, the least of the bads. And so I ate probably a quarter of a fish sandwich or something. Woke up in the middle of the night like someone took a baseball bat and hit me upside the jewels down there as hard as they could. Whoa! I still remember that. I thought, McFadden, I'm dead. Now, all I could think of was Bernard McFadden. It's like, oh, crap, just killed myself. But they rushed me to the hospital. It was my first kidney stone. And the shock of the vibrational energy of that low dead animal crap and my high level of magnetics and stuff at that time shocked my body. And when you shock your kidneys, if you've got stones, and that's the first time I learned that. All my milk drinking and all that growing up as a farm boy gave me a lot of stones, and I'm going, what? It's like, holy crap, are they all going to feel like this? And I think one urologist said, your kidneys could be full of them. And I'm going, what? So fast forward 3 weeks ago. Whew-wee, man. So we're all kind of celebrating the new year. But I've been talking to people, you know, and the new year hasn't come in exciting for a lot of them. It's like old karma running off, which is kind of cool because we have a thing in Indiana about if winter comes in like a lion, it leaves like a lamb. You know, if the new year comes in like a lion, it'll leave like a lamb, that sort of thing. You see the opposite effects, you know. So people were partying, and someone was grilling a neighbor and brought me over one skewer of mushroom, onion, and pepper. All was on it. And so I thought, this looks good, you know, and it's all veggies pretty much. Woke up at the middle of the night. My whole right side went into major spasm from my toes to my brain, to my lungs, liver, kidney. And I thought, McFadden just killed himself again. I go, uh-oh, here I go, I'm dead, you know. So got to the hospital, and everything was kind of reducing down at that time because I was grabbing antispasmodics and everything was kind of reducing down. But I thought, holy crap. And then you could really tell that you are bilateral because everything was just on that side. Everything was on my right side, right? So my kidney spasmed so bad it kicked out a 5 to 7. And I've been dealing that for 3 weeks. And today I'm supposed to be in surgery. Except for, I passed it last night. Ha! Yep, that good old fresh squeezed navel orange juice. So that's pretty good. So then everything changes once you get those little sand spurs out of you. But I'm telling you this for a reason, because you have to be careful, and you never know. I mean, who would have thought grilled, you know, on a skewer, onions and green peppers and all that would have any effect on you, especially a radical one like that, right? I would think it would have to be something meat-oriented or something like that. And interesting. So I've kind of been out of commission. Whew. So I looked at these yesterday. I was in here with the medical doctor and manning up on it. Take a look at these. Wow. Take a look at those. And this is where really you can demonstrate the fact that the lymphatic system is not moving, not filtering. Look at all these drug deposits. Just all over the friggin' place. More so on the right side than the left. Notice that? So that then takes you to this, what over here? Is that the kidney? Let's see, where am I? Yep. Look how dark that kidney is. Look how dark that is. This is sulfur. So you've got a subacute eye, a blue eye that's very subacute. So let's take a quick look at this. Heavy lymphatic stagnation in the stomach, the bowels, major malabsorption. There's even some, in my opinion, some deterioration in the stomach. The trabecula looks pretty straight. You know, all these little trabeculas, if they're getting wavy, where you're going? Parathyroid, right? Connective tissue. So I'm over here looking at the parathyroid and I go, oh, look at this. So right here, parathyroid. You got nerve rings, so you know there's chronic adrenals, and of course there's big drug deposits stuck in the right adrenal gland, and in the uterus, or prostate. Is this a male? Who is this? Yeah, prostate. Yowie. And then there's weaknesses down the male organ, and then flipping over in the bladder. You got a lot of weaknesses in your bladder, my friend. But you see this parathyroid, not that big on the right side. Go to the left side, more evidence of parathyroid. And a lot of people go, parathyroids. Yeah, you got bones, connective tissue, and all the other stuff in your body requires those. Looking at the pituitary, right side looks good, but take a look at that. Oops, if you can get that light up there. That's pituitary up in the head area. So now you know that you have two problems here. You got parathyroid problem, but whoa, you also have a pituitary problem. So you have to work on both of those things. Well, then here comes the adrenals. Right kidney, need a lot of regeneration going on there, my friend. You've got to regenerate that kidney, prostate, and that's all connected, you know. Go to the left kidney, got a drug deposit in it. You know, you got some stuff going on here. So you got to open this filtration. It's funny because, sorry, they kept wanting to send me antibiotics, right? So he recommended Cipro. So I called his nurse. I said, honey, it's killed two of my patients and put one in a ICU with a heart attack. And then on YouTube, I brought it out and I started hearing all kinds of deaths and things from Cipro. So the office, and you've got 3 medical doctor surgeons, all looked at them and go, holy crap, why is this still on the market? Yeah, Cipro makes you throw blood clots like crazy. And half the antibiotics shut your kidneys down. So they give you something to help you, but shut your kidneys down. So, you know, so it's hard to explain the difference between a botanical antibiotic, which is like our Parasite M, and a pharmaceutical. Sometimes it's easier to swallow a pill than take a tincture, though, when you're extremely nauseated. Not sometimes the best thing, because up it comes. I could only hold water, a little bit of watermelon juice, and if I was lucky, just a little bit of mango juice. And that was it for about two and a half weeks. Now, I don't like this either, my friend. I'm looking in your heart area and your lower left bronchial trunk, and a lot of times these are connected. And you've got a little bit of genetics in the heart area and in the bronchial trunk. You can expect some bronchi detox going on. This is on your left side. Your right side doesn't look bad at all that way. Got some drug deposits in the lung, lower lobe. I don't know what drug you've been on, but I mean, it could be iodine, but you've been on sulfur pills or something because you got a lot of sulfur, so you know you're highly fungal. So yeah, your upper neck here on the left side, got a lot of inflammation in your upper neck, upper T-spine, lower back, of course, that's where you're getting into your kidneys, your prostates, or your ovaries and uterus. So yeah, so let's see what the story is. Goes with this. Sylvania. Peter, this is a male, 42. My friend, you've got to get your lips moving. All right? Little need to make love, baldness, warts, poor absorption, no change. I get it. I feel for you. 42, no making love. That sucks. Well, I mean, this is what you're given in genetics was the kidneys, the adrenals, the pituitary, the parathyroids. Thyroid's a little bit with it, but suffering from that is your skeletal system. And the fact that you're, whatever drugs you've been on treating yourself or what they've been treating you with, I mean, you're loaded. I mean, look at these drug deposits, guys. All these little dots are drug deposits. Groin, hard moving. You can, when you start looking at the flow, hard moving that out of your legs. And for that, you see a deterioration of the upper right femur a little bit, the knee, the ankle, all down that right leg. Left side more the knee, but femur is also involved. So that pulls you over to the hip, right? I didn't map this out, but it looks like you've got left hip going on as well. I also perceive just a teeny bit of gallbladder. And I'll mark this up because it's hiding up here. I'll show you this. And look at the lymph around this little dot. Look at the amount of white around this little dot. See that little dot up by the bowel wall? It's on the outside of the bowel wall. Look at all that white. That's heavy lymph. You get too much heavy lymph like that, you start focusing on cysts and tumors. And so, bottom line, my friend, it's going to take you a while. This is where your vehicle, your car, needs to be in the shop for a couple of years because you've got to get your lymph moving. Before you can talk about regeneration and all that, you got to get your kidneys filtering and the lymph moving. And I'm shooting for an April, May date to get these V-books out. I've been working hard on them. A lot of charts going in them and stuff like that. Facts you guys are going to like. Some good stuff that we've researched and put together for you. So, greetings, Dr. Morse. My name is Peter. Love you, man. I'm 6'4". Right there. And the evidence is right here in the eye. Let me circle this. Pituitary. So that gives you the 6 foot floor tall and currently 165 pounds. Skinny. That's about what I weigh. I'm 42 and I'm 5'9", 9.5, something like that. I'm 42 years old and I believe the old. And I'm your loyal, thanks my friend. I came across your channel about a year and a half ago. I watched many of your videos. Thanks for all the knowledge and wisdom you share with us. That's just the hello, here it is. Now, pick it up and work it. And that's where all this comes in. Up and down and back and forward. You don't know what you got until you start opening all these doors. Do you have stones all in your kidneys? A lot of people have a lot of kidney stones and don't even know it yet. So, and the problem with hydrating and bringing an anionic movement throughout the body is the elimination of the unwanted by the body. That's the hell we go through. So just going out here, you can see the prostate, man. You've got heavy duty prostates. You've got to get those kidneys filtering to get that prostate opened up. And then, this is a channel we talk quite frankly, guys, because we are practitioners of the art. The penis has got genetics in it. Fix all that up and your man will be back on the road. Last year in the middle of November, I decided to change my diet, and for the last year, I mostly ate fresh fruit, seasonal dried fruit, figs, dates. Oh, I love figs and dates. I've got some great medjool dates at the house. Oh, God. I tried to keep the bowels going because, and some vegetables, cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, and lettuce. Yeah, I finally, just before I really ended up in a bad way, I had a big salad. Oh, my body did not like that salad. Oh, it beat me up one side and down the other. No, I need the fruit. So I always try to find fresh, sweet navel oranges. And of course, I love fresh squeezed navel. I could eat navel oranges till hell froze over. But cucumbers, peppers are rough on you. And maybe that's one of the things that tripped me even. Tomatoes, I cook them in, raw. Again, nightshade stuff. I grew up with beefsteaks and stuff like that on the farm. I mean, we had beautiful tomatoes on the farm. We used to have tomato fights all the time. Of course, our parents didn't know it. Where's all the tomatoes? Decided to go only fruit for 14 days. This is because I haven't noticed any changes in myself in the last year, apart from the fact that I've lost weight and that I'm almost a parched. That's this thing of moving lymph. Getting that lymph to move. And I don't know, we've talked about dates can help. We know that astringents, we know the kidney formulas are par, getting the adrenals up. One guy started filtering, just getting his adrenals turned back on. So there's so many factors, and your body looks like you've been lymphatically involved since mama. That's 42 years of lymphatic stagnation, and then maybe the year within. So, you've got some heavy-duty lymph to move, and while you're doing it, it's still chewing on you. That's the problem. We're waking up to the truth, That's just, you'll see this medical doctor there, and I have a lot of friends that are medical doctors. I might be hard on them, but if you're buying into the 17th century consciousness of diseases and the germ theory, you're way down the road. They're talking about my stone and this PA of Dr. Wren is his name. He's the greatest medical doctor I know. He's a cool dude, you know. No bullshit, no nothing. It's what you do, boom, boom, boom. We don't need to put this. We don't need to stamp. We don't need to. I go, love you, man. And other ones are just unbelievable. But learning the lymphatic system is so key at understanding, even with stones, why you would have bacteria around a stone. Why would you kill? And I told this PA, I said, listen, where does bacteria are stored in your body mostly, besides gut tissue and things like that? Yep, lymph nodes. So you're going, and what job does bacterium have in your lymph nodes? Right. Take those 3 pH cellular acids and bring them up to 6 so you can pee without being on your knees. A lot of you know what GI or urinary tract infections are like. They're not fun. And this is the catch-22 with antibiotics, is you're trying to kill the helpers. But if you have a raging bull, I get it. But no, I want bacteria to keep breaking down my acids. Acids. And that's what's beautiful about botanicals. Botanicals, they don't bother the good guys. It's just like, it's interesting. I just can't even, the consciousness of these plants. And we talk a lot about it, me and Dr. Toomey. All right, now I would like to return a little to my body and the situations I have with it. When I was 18 years old, I had severe inflammation of the, wait for it, kidneys. And I was treated with, Medrol. Before and after that, I never took any medicine or anything else from pharmacies. After about 1 year, things improved, and from then on, I'm okay. Yeah, it looked like it suppressed a lot. It didn't come out of you. In the beginning, I drank a lot of water, even 6 liters, a day, because the doctors told me to drink a lot, and I did. Well, flush the kidneys. This is the problem, though. What about the lymphatic tissues within the kidneys? Kidneys are made of what? Oh, cells and 2 fluids. Cells and 2 fluids everywhere you go. So you have to think about the lymphatic system within the kidney matrix, and it has its own lymph node system too, as well as the bladder. And this comes the seriousness of these problems. You guys are learning the more serious side of this side. Medical doctors think they can just, go in there. And I'm separating surgeons, I always will, and ER docs, because I've been there and done it. But those are where you need the medical consciousness. And stat needs. That's naturopaths are not designed for stat things. I had my tools, and I was always available. I wore a beeper. I even had it at night by my bed for years. And then I couldn't get Marcy or Attila to take a beeper home with them. They refused. So I go, oh, really? It's like you want to be there to help your clients, because you can go through some real hell detoxing, no question about it. So I became a vegan when I was 30. Otherwise, I didn't eat bad food before, but I removed meat and dairy from my diet. Good man. Feeling energy and everything else remained the same. Yeah, I forget what this was. What they claim nutritional glycerol. I don't even remember the name of it on TV. It was a commercial. And in pushing this sports drink or this nutritional drink, it put right up on the TV, protein equals energy. See, and this is where the misinformation is brought. And they might not even realize that's a very inaccurate statement. Your body does not burn phosphorus and nitrogen for energy. Hello! And you don't want that to happen. And that's what's happening. People are relying on protein for their energy, which is just slamming their bowels, slamming their kidneys, slamming all this. And of course, it's necroticizing the gut. So everybody's got gut problems. And it's just so much misinformation. It's a sad thing. Maybe it's good to say that I always felt good. That's amazing, bro. That's maybe because you're a spiritual kind of guy. You know, I was telling her, I can't sit here sometime and talk to you spiritually too much because I get a buzz. I just sit here and go out. You know, I always have a buzz. Always. And it's not from any drugs. I'm trying to live in the now every moment. In this past 30, I started to notice that my hair was thinning. So what takes off hair? And there's only two sides of chemistry, and now we know, all the physiology books haven't got there yet. We know a long time ago that 14, Virginia found them in the rats, and what was the Spaniards, or who was it, found the lymphatic system in the brain in humans. We have that coming up on these V books. But I've been pouring through so much information, it's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. So now you're going balding, and this is what you do now. And I'm not being mean here, please. When you start losing hair, ding dong, all right? Because that's when you start plaquing up in the brain. And there's a new test now for amyloid proteins. Oh, it's a revolution in the medical field. But no one in my family is bald. Does not. Balding is, we claim genetics, and you can only claim genetics at the cellular level, so hair follicles or whatever getting into the cells. But reality is, acids destroy tissue. Whether it's hair, nails, I don't care where it is. Everywhere you go in the body, we find the same thing. I mean, like a chiropractor friend of mine. Damn, cells in two fluids, huh? Can't get much simpler than that. We could add cell spaces in two fluids. I've got a nice chart on that to show you that coming. The first explanation I heard that made sense was from you. I knew right away that this was it. The kidneys are not functioning. And remember, you go back to the time they gave you all this meds here. And when you see the chemistry you're bringing in is not leaving you, then you know you're stagnant lymphatically, because the blood can't eliminate anything anywhere except through the spleen. And you don't want it to recirculate its stuff. That's why the uptake of protein in the capillaries are not there. It pushes it off to, what's the other fluid beside itself in the interstitial space? Oh, the sewer system. Deposited on top of my head and is in an acidic environment. The hair is not supposed to grow, and the skin is not as it should be. Oh yeah, well, all cells in your body start deteriorating. When you start to see it, and I've said this before, when you start to see it on the outside of the body, take the skin off and take a look. And this is where a lot of people are not being taught the truth because people don't know it. You guys out there are the blessed ones. I hate to tell you, but you know these facts and truths. And these years I've been feeding you all this is a big reason. Now, I know I'm an old man with stories, but I have stories a mile long. From being down in the DR, helping the Presidente's wife overcome pancreatic cancer, trying to take over the old dictator's mansion, turning into a health retreat. I just can go on and on and on and on the things we've done in this, trying to get this stuff out to get awareness up there. Is you can't buy into this disease theory because it's simply taking you out of the equation. It's disempowering you and replacing it with fear. Can't operate with fear. That's how people control you, right? That's how the Biden's controlling you, using fear. It's like, give me fear, give me a break. oh, what is it? John, what was that? What was it? The Dukes of Hazzard? I'm with you, John. Who cares what the FBI thinks? These are as corrupt as all the rest of them. Sad stuff. We're losing our law enforcement. Politicizing everything. But really, the political side of it is simply the world order. You know, the world order right now. Did you hear the latest from WHO? We're going to have a pandemic 20 times more deadly than the COVID. Setting everybody up again. They need to be arrested. Setting everybody up. We're already probably are in the hundreds of millions of deaths from the vaccine. You start looking at all the countries, I'm sure we're well over 100 million. How are you going to explain that one away? Pfizer. Another problem, and oh, you still want to vaccinate our 6-month-old babies? Oh, could be agenda behind that, you think? Another problem, that's why wise up, wise up, wise up, wise up. The fact that we lost our YouTube channel, these are a bunch of creeps. These guys are ruining their own worlds. Well, okay, we'll all start new platforms. Another problem I have is some warts. Okay, so you're being eaten on. You have probably a lot of alkalotic and acidotic states in you. Now, I know you got high fungus, so those tend to be the alkalotic states. And then, of course, your warts and things like that. They're just eating on you. You can take a lot of Parasite M. I would probably take 2 dropperfuls 3 times a day or 4 times a day for a good month. Probably help you. If you've never dewormed yourself, Peter, I'd do that too. You know, get Parasite M and G and go right after that. Make sure you're taking lymphatic, kidneys. I'd do 2 kidney formulas, 1 lymphatic formula, and maybe the 3 or whatever we call it now. But you also want to go after that gallbladder. I mean to tell you, it's not a happy little fella. And that's where you get the lipids for the lymphatic system. Yeah, we had a class, and I don't know if it's up on school, but I have videos from years of classes. So I'm going to go through them sometime and then maybe put them all together for you, and we'll do something to help you out with them. But these are all the classes I've ever done. I've always had them professionally filmed. Well, in the day when we only had 5 or 6 people in our classes, I think we filmed them ourselves, but I think I started out my first detox class with maybe 6, 7, 8 people, and I don't know. Fingers and toes. They appeared about 7 years ago, and things haven't changed much since. And yeah, your lymphatic system don't look. I haven't seen it 7 years ago, but right now, it's a you-know-what-house mess. You're very subacute, meaning you have blue eyes and they're yellow, and got a real heavy acute lymph stagnation around the gallbladder, of course. Some liver weaknesses. Yeah, here you go, right ear. A little bit of mastoid going on in there. Right side, same thing, bro. Also left shoulder, I'm thinking, but I didn't map you out. Okay, another problem is that I don't feel a strong need for sex. Yeah, I mean, with your prostate like it is, genetically in the kidneys, you could lose all ambition as a male. Low testosterone levels and everything else. I mean, we're seeing that, and people are getting confused with genders. And really, it's their genetic weaknesses that are slapping them. And then you've got a radical community out there that I don't know what they see. But things need to be fixed and broke up. It's also very difficult to get aroused, and the genital, yeah, you got too much inflammation in the prostate. And so you're probably going to be running low on testosterone. That's probably a good thing. Even though testosterone, it's an acid, but it's a minor acid, still an acid. And I don't know if we can claim exacerbation from that, but acid with an acid just doesn't do well. You know, acid on top of acid on top of acid yields you nothing but acids. And then, of course, that's why they give Lupron and Arumadex and all this to the males and the females to suppress estrogen or testosterone. And those are all carcinogenics. I often wake up hard during sleep, so it works. All my body situations have remained the same in the last year. The skin on my head is similar. My hair is still like fluff. My warts are practically identical. Sex things are the same. Only I have lost weight and my vision has deteriorated significantly. The photo of the eyes 1 year ago and today is identical. Yeah. And I say to you, Peter, that's your lymphatic system. Without your getting your kidneys filtering and really digging in on the lymphatic system, I don't even know what to say. I don't see any changes either. And with all my patients through all the years, if those that couldn't get their kidneys filtering still had the problem and getting worse. Getting worse. You can't get to an area that's agglomerated with acids. How does it get better? It don't. Just eating fruit. You've got to get into these pathways. And we're talking about that with this medical. That's just the lymph system in the finger. What about the brain? What about the liver? What about the gallbladder? So you can see that this is intense and that the body has miles of these lymphatic pathways that are stagnant in you. That's why having kidney filtration is so important. And when the medical world starts to realize that kidney filtration is not infection, it's getting rid of those things that deteriorate you. And you talk about infections, there's only two sides to chemistry, guys. And then everything else is your microbial world going, yummy, 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 look what I got to eat. I took a beginner level 1 course in the spring. Let's see, I see some small material in the urine. But after 8, 24, 36 hours of dry fasting, this material is much more. Well, I hate to say it, but this is where probably off and on dry fasting, water fasting, lemon juice fasting, that sort of thing, getting some more astringents, that still is anionic. See, that's a difference. We can say the tannin as a isolate, which is how you tan leathers, is very astringent. So that's, I took a big, as well and good, but above all it bothers me because I don't have any positive results myself. My diet for the past year, breakfast, seasonal fruit, I've never mixed sweet or sour together, or one or the other. I usually mix it in a smoothie. Snack fruit, main meal, salad or lots of vegetables in a tortilla, the only sin. Cucumbers, tomatoes, cabbage, and peppers. Afternoon fruit and dried fruit, dinner fruit. You're gonna, that's about what I'm eating. That's just about how I eat right now. But you got to get rid of the veggies. It's just going to kind of hold everything back. And like I said, I'd incorporate dry fat. You're seeing more filtration when you do that. That's the key. I would pop on herbal formulas if you haven't had them, and you'll see the difference. And we're talking to this medical doctor about it yesterday. The botanicals make all the difference in the world sometimes. You can just eat fruit, and this to me is a good case. I don't know what herbs you've taken, but you're going to want some because the fruit, powerful as you can get, it's the world that you have to go to at these higher levels or you're dropping off all food. I mean, fruit is the highest, most easiest to digest, the most energetic, the most loving and giving food for you. The best in detox. Look at dark grapes. However, some people are so agglomerated, Peter, and it's what you look like, that you're going to have to bring in some lymphatic power. You're going to have to bring in some of that. Okay, this is good. I also took herbs for a while, a good month. Get on a year, man. Parasite M and G, for kidneys, M&G, and a few others. This is why get yourself focused on and I've got the book out, the protocols. You don't even have to call the office. On what do you take. Systematically go after yourself. You got a pituitary slamming your adrenals, slamming your parathyroid. So your body is leaching of calcium. You see it all over your skeletal system. And your pituitary could be going like this with your adrenals. So you got to take the endocrine gland for me. One of the problems is you're 6'4", but my guess is you went from hyper, now you're into hypo. Because you take the endocrine gland formula and you're in a hyper state, you're going to keep growing. Well, I've got a kid doing it right now. I told the parent, gotta come off the endos. He's 11 years old and 6 foot something already and big, and I mean, God, monster. So that's the best wisdom I can give you there. I want to get this out to you because Monday I'm going to come in and just nail you a bunch of videos next week. I'm hungry all the time. Yeah, you're starving. Isn't that funny? You can eat and eat and eat and still starve. Why? Well, again, go back to your body as a food processor. You got nature takes the atomic structures, atoms, and builds minerals and all this stuff, and then puts all this stuff together. And then you got the soils, and then you got the seeds, and you got all this stuff bringing into a plant. And then a plant is either going to give you a fruit, a berry, or it's going to be a vegetable, that sort of thing. But where was I going with that? That slipped out of my mind. I can't remember where I was going with that, but, I know. So then all this is formed into salts. Your body doesn't break everything back down to the elemental stage. The only thing it tends to break down is the protein structures. And and we're putting that in the Fruitarian book, about the difference between the levels of hydrochloric acid needed for fruit, vegetables, and meats, or more solid structures, beans and grains, and the important difference of that, and what the body has to do to deal with that, and also the effect of the acid ash of this. And when I was talking earlier about the bicarbonate bull crap, you can't sit there as a medical doctor and think bicarbonate's going to change all your acids into alkalis, and that's why the body can't be acidic. I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know how a professor could teach that if he knew proper, or she knew proper physiology. A physiology teacher, A&P teacher, you guys need to do what Pat did. Pull back from the books, because now they're so unfactual it's not even funny, and most of the true professors of A&P are hollering theory, 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 even in the process of mitosis. What? So your body's a food processor. So you've got a pancreas and a gallbladder, right? You got hydrolyzing of lipids. Why would you don't dump a bunch of lipids in the blood? Why would you do that? The blood is a water chain. You do your lipids, and that's going to be the gallbladder. We had that one seminar where Marcy found an old medical book that had a duct from the small bowel, a lymphatic duct, to the gallbladder. And we had, 5 medical doctors in that class, and they go, we've never seen that. Well, we hadn't either. The books aren't always right. And when you're always looking at the books, get your head out of your you-know-what book and start looking at things simplistically. And that's what I've lined up for you, because I've done that. I'm tearing all this apart, trying to understand how the body works. Now with the book, we get what they say, but you can't live in the world of diseases and be a spiritual person, because it doesn't fit in cause and effect. It doesn't fix in how creation works, duality, and how you only have two sides of everything, chemistry in particular. I've written through you twice. It's your turn, Pete. I'm sorry. I love you, man. Sorry about that. But if there's anything we can do to help you outside of that, but your focus needs to be fruit. And I would get herbs for two kidney formulas. You want your endocrine gland formula, and I'd be popping 2D, 2-dropper full, at least 3 times a day. Muscle test. And if you if you test weak on that, you're still pituitary's in a hyper state. That left pituitary side does not look. If it's hyper, it's only because it's going down. Because you've got a very chronic left side pituitary, and then you got to see all the genetics that's bringing on that left side. Right side, just definitely kidneys and the lymphatic system very involved. But I would incorporate these type of fasts and stuff like this in my process of digging in. But there are some of you that you just have to have botanical. That's why I love them. I take them. I love them. I throw it all in a little shot glass and down you go, baby. Because with kidney issues and stuff like that, my prostate swells up. The prostate formula, hit it with 3-dropper fulls about 3 times a day, that old prostate goes, ew. But again, kidney filtration is key. And if you're not getting it, you're seeing what Peter's fighting. And but several things, and keep in mind that pituitary could be sitting on your adrenal glands, so you want to definitely hit the adrenals either with a glandular or with adrenal herbs. We have an adrenal formula, and really turn these glands back on. Parathyroid is central. You got to get calcium back in tissues. Real important, my friend. I want to get this up, and if I'm going to get this up for you, I promise this, guys. I'll be back Monday, and this is Friday. Mary Kay at Dare to Be Strong. Yeah! I love that one. Huh? This is pretty cool. Specific course. Level 2, Advanced Regenerative Detoxification Protocols. So many in the AMA and even fitness nutrition arenas now talk about the importance and health of the cell's mitochondria. Okay? And that's, of course, where you process the cribs and all that, right? What little I know, it seems that these are tied into the third or electrical channel of the body that Dr. Morse talks about. Not sure. Can someone please explain? How's the electrical channel network dispersed across the body? Autonomic. Now, remember, when you're supposed to be eating electrical foods, that's where you understanding how the blood is and the lymphatic is, your diet can't be cationic. And that's what most people's diets are, acidic, acid-ash foods. Where's the electrical? Oh, protein equals energy. Another lie. All these things, so people are getting more protein. It's a stimulant, like Red Bull. It's a stimulant, right? And after a while, you're necroticizing your bowel, inflaming your bowel, plaquing your bowel, all kinds of things on the outside. Now, because when these proteins hit the kidneys for years, bye-bye kidneys. Well, then there goes this gigantic sewer system backing up in the human body. Oh, my lymph nodes are swollen. Oh, I feel like a little hump. But when you start feeling humps and dumps, man, you're in trouble. Period. When you get like this, you're in trouble, period. You don't even go close to this. People ask me, how did she get that far? I said, medical. She probably trusts a medical doctor to someday find an antidote. Well, they talk about maggot therapy. I'm surprised they didn't hit her. So we'll talk about the mitochondria, matter of fact. I'll do it Monday for you, Mary Kay. Mary Kay has those pink Cadillacs and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll get into the cell a lot more in that. But, bottom line, I'm also in this fruitarian book getting into the sugars and the simple sugars, the pentose groups, the ribose, and all the need of the body to have simple sugars. So I'll get into more of these things Monday because I want to get this up for you and let you know I love you. Have fun this weekend. And I'm excited to get this interview with the medical doctor. It was fun. I show another level what's out there You know, we have this pointed view of white coats and stethoscopes in the medical world. Not all over the world we don't. We have some beautiful people out there. And when you're, as I was telling her, you straddle both worlds. I remember when I first started out, 74 as a naturopath, I think it was. Yes, 50th year. There was Dr. Wunderlich up in St. Petersburg, medical doctor turned holistic. You couldn't even get in to see him. He was so busy with people that didn't trust naturopaths but wanted holistic, and here I'm a naturopath. I'm going, hey, and I couldn't hardly get any clients. This guy was so busy, he was raking it in. It's like, really? But that was treatment with supplements. That wasn't true holistic. Holistic world does not treat. Holistic world is organic. Holistic is whole 100%. We don't extract out of plants to give it back to you in another form or potentize it, whether it's the active principles or minerals or whatever we're doing. Bring a bag of calcium in. We're going to bring a bag of iron shavings in. Remember that? You got iron added to cereal, put a magnet in and see the iron shavings come up. All these things, your nutritional experts think is good for you. Jesus, cry me. Same thing with pediatricians telling you the mamas not to make their own food for their babies. Really? Take this milky crap that's 20 grams of protein and 1 of sugar. And let's watch your babies go downhill lymphatically and gut. Ugh. But you guys are wising up, and I love that. And I love all of you for hanging in there and opening yourself and learning. And dig into the mitochondria. We'll dig in more into the cell. We'll get a little more involved in that. We are in the lymphatic system for sure. And I also like to think I'm a pH thinker. So I'm thinking of pH interstitially, pH of intracellular, cytoplasm. I'm thinking of pH. And when you're bathed in acids, what happens to you, whether you're dealing in the mitochondria, you're dealing in any of the organelles or the DNA and RNA, you start to mutate. And the cells start to mutate. And then they release these, what Pat thinks is isomes, but viruses, things like this. Help! Help! I'm in trouble! And that's why you see what you see and how the body turns itself into detoxification. It struggles. All these colds and flus, it struggles to get itself cleaned out, and everybody keeps eating these cationic meals. Of course, it's not your food that's causing your problems. It's not the chemistry that you're making love to that's causing your problems. It's not your emotional state that's locking down your adrenals, locking down your kidneys. That couldn't be a problem either. It couldn't be your mental attitudes and those that backbite and gossip about others and tear down others all the time. That's as negative as you can get too. So all these negative things, when you're in trouble, you put flowers around you. You put on classic or some type of Loretta McKenna, and some of these Enigma, if you're one of those kind of guys. I'm an Enigma fan, boy. Take you right out. So there's so much beautiful etheric music out there. Help your body move, to it, because you want passive movement initially. Why? Because in active movement, you're producing more acids. And then in Peter's case, bye-bye knees, bye-bye hips, because the body can't remove these acids, and they're going to be met by calcium draw. That's the natural scheme of things. Love you guys. Thank you so much putting up with this old man. Sorry I haven't put out so many videos here. We've been trying to get, but I've been down for the last 3 weeks with a damn kidney stone. You little thing, little rascal. But love you guys.